Hi to all of you. This is the lesson for day 22. In this lesson, we are going to discuss about the location of the centroids in respect of the composite figures. So generally, that some of the composite figures will come across like L section, I section, C section, and Z section. And also, we'll try to solve some of the problems on the centroid. So now, when we go to the lesson, prepare the PPT. In the last class, we have been discussing about the definition of the centroid or the center of gravity, moment of inertia, radius of gyration, and we also located and we understood how to look at the centroid or center of gravity of a body, and we already defined the moment of inertia and radius of gyration, and for some of the figures, some of the standard sections shown here, like circle, square, rectangle, triangle, and for this we have noted the location of the centroid. So generally for the circle, the centroid will act at the midpoint, that is the center. That is nothing but the point of intersection of the diagonals. And for the scale also, the CG will be lying at the point of intersection of the diagonals, where the diagonals meet each other. For the rectangle also, it is also point of intersection of the diagonals. So that is the B by 2 and L by 2. And for the triangle, so for the triangle, it is a point where the three medians intersect with each other. So meaning nothing but a diagonal drawn from the midpoint of a side to the vertex of the opposite side. So the midpoint of the side to the opposite vertex is called a median. So median line connecting the vertex and the midpoint of the opposite side. So for the triangle, it is the point where the medians will intersect with each other. And for the semicircle, it is because this semicircle is symmetrical about the y-axis, so the centroid will lie on the y-axis at a distance of 4 into r by 3 5. where R is the radius. And for the trapezium, here also this trapezium also is symmetrical about the y-axis. So the y coordinate is equal to h by 3 into b plus 2 by a, 2a by b plus a, where b is the larger side and a is the smaller side. And for the hemisphere, so it is also symmetrical about the y-axis, and the y coordinate is equal to 3 by 8 into r, where r is the radius of the hemisphere. And next, the right, so the center of gravity of a right circular cone. In this case, this cone is having a height h and radius r. This cone is also symmetrical about the y-axis. So here the y coordinate is equal to h by 4, where h is the height of the cone from its base, and the CG of a cube. Cube means it is having a 8 faces which are having the equal length. Say length is equal to L. Then the center of gravity will be lying at the midpoint, that is L by 2 distance from your base. So x is equal to L by 2 and y also equal to L by 2. The x coordinate and y coordinate also equal, and that is equal to L by 2. That is nothing but the midpoint of the cube. And also sphere. If you take the sphere, for the sphere here, for the sphere also the center of gravity will be lying at the midpoint. So for the case of the sphere, it is nothing but it is distance of d by 2 from every point. So because the circumference or the radius is same, therefore the center point is at a distance of radius from the outer surface. So therefore always the CG of the sphere will act at a distance of d by 2. That is nothing but the radius, and where d is equal to the diameter of the sphere. Now next, coming to this pictures here, these are called as the hollow shapes. The first one is the hollow circle, hollow square, hollow rectangle. So here what is happening is from a bigger figure, the smaller figure is cut out. The smaller figure is cut out from the bigger figure. For example, you take the case of a hollow circle. It is nothing but the smaller circle is cut out from the bigger circle. However, even the smaller circle is cut out. Then what is happening is the cut out circle also having the similar shape. So the axis of symmetry will not change. Therefore, the centroid or the center of gravity of this hollow circle will remain same. That is at the same point. That is at the midpoint, or it is the point at which the diagonals will intersect with each other. Similarly, for the case of a hollow circle also, even the cutout point also is the same thing. The cutout point also symmetrical scale. Therefore, in this case in case of the rectangle also, here when a symmetrical shape is cut out, which is having the equidistance from the center point, then the center of gravity or the centroid will not shift. It will remain same at the same point, the midpoint. That is nothing but the point of intersection of the diagonals in all the cases. Now the coming to the composite sections. So we got so many composite sections. If we take any engineering element, you take the any shape, it is composed of the simple shapes. It is nothing but a combination of a simple shape. For example, you take the L section, T section, Z section, I section, and built up I section like this. So these are called as the composite sections, and generally these cross sections are used in the engineering applications to have the sufficient strength depending on the requirements. So we need to locate the center of gravity of all these sections depending on the requirement. So to solve some of the important problems, to have the design of the structures or design of the machine elements. So here why it is called as the composite sections, because this, if you take the case of L section, so it is L, but it is nothing but a combination of the two rectangles. So one is the vertical rectangle and second one is the horizontal rectangle. Similarly, you take the case of a T section, it is also combination of the two rectangles. So first one is the horizontal rectangle, and below that it is joined with a vertical rectangle. And if we take the case of a Z, so we got the three rectangles. So these sections are made by combining the simple shapes. That's why these are called as the composite sections, like this I section. So mostly we are using the I section in the various applications like structural applications, and in case of the making of the rails, the I section and built up I can be used. So for this also we need to locate the center of gravity. So in this case, what we do is we should have to the first of all, so the what is called the location of the centroid can be found by first simply dividing the given composite section into the simple sections. Like it may be rectangle, or it may be triangle, or it may be square, or it may be a semicircle, or a chord, or anything, or a circle. Then in that case, we have to locate the centroid of the each individual figure, and then we have to combine the centroids of all these figures, all these sections by a formula, and then we can able to find out the centroid of the composite section. Now for that, so like the for I also I section also we have to find like that only. And now coming to the calculation part, how to calculate. So still we are discussing about the basics of the centroids. Now this is the calculations of the centroid. How to locate? Very important thing. So first you take the case of the circle. The circle is having a diameter d. It is specified by a radius or diameter, and in the present case, it is specified with a diameter d. So here actually the both edges are touching with the two axes. So as we know that always the centroid will be measured from some reference axis. So for that, first we have to define the reference axis. Generally, the bottommost edge will be taken for the x-axis, and the leftmost edge of the given object can be taken as the y-axis. So here the circle is touching with the x and y-axis, but actually in the figure it is not touching, but generally we are assuming that the circle is touching the y-axis also. Now the centroid, that is x coordinate and y coordinate. So it is denoted by the x bar and y bar, or sometimes xy. So that is the x coordinate value and y coordinate value. So we know that for the circle, the centroid is acting at the midpoint, that is nothing but the point of intersection of the diagonals. So it is the center point. So we know that the center point is at a distance of d by 2 from y-axis, that is x coordinate, and the center point also at a distance of d by 2 from x-axis, that is the y coordinate. So the coordinates for the centroid for a circle xy is equal to d by 2 comma d by 2, where d is the diameter. Sometimes if we take the r radius, that is nothing but the r arc, like that. Now coming to the scale. So here also the scale is shown in the figure, having a side A. So here the bottom most edge is nothing but the x-axis, and the leftmost edge is the y-axis. So here the centroid is nothing but the point of intersection of the diagonals, that is at the midpoint. So it is having the equidistance from all the sides. So that the point C is at a distance of a by 2 from x-axis and also a by 2 from y-axis. So the coordinates xy is equal to a by 2 comma a by 2. So where a is the side, and now for the rectangle and triangle. So for the rectangle, so it is also at the point of intersection of the diagonals, that is nothing but the midpoint. So that point is at a distance of b by 2 from y-axis and h by 2 from the x-axis. So the x coordinate is equal to b by 2, where b is the width, and the y coordinate is equal to h by 2, where h is the height given. Now coming to the triangle. So for the triangle, the left edge will be taken as the y-axis, and the bottom edge will be taken as the base is taken as the x-axis. So the centroid is lying at a distance of c from both axes. So we need to find out. So in this case, the triangle is specified by width b and height h. Here the coordinates of the centroid for the triangle. It is the right angle triangle is equal to x is equal to that is what the x coordinate value is equal to b by 3 from the y axis, and the y coordinate is equal to h by 3 from x axis. So y is equal to h by 3 from the base. So then from the vertex it becomes 2h by 3. So we should not confuse. So generally whatever the value is given, that is from the x and y axis. So the x coordinate is equal to b by 3 and y coordinate is equal to h by 3 for the triangle. Now the formulas to find out the centroid for the composite figures. Here the x coordinate is equal to algebraic sum of the areas multiplied by the x coordinate by total area. That is nothing but the x is equal to sigma ai xi by sigma ai. So the x coordinate means always. So what is the x? X means the value of the x coordinate from y axis. So always the x coordinate means the location from the reference y axis. So we have taken the left edge is the y axis and the bottom edge is the x axis. So the x coordinate means from the left edge the distance, the hard distance is called as the x coordinate, and that is equal to sigma ai xi by sigma ai. Here, suppose if the figure is having only two rectangles or two figures, two standard areas, in that case a1 into x1 plus a2 into x2 by a1 plus a2. For example, if a given figure is having the three standard areas, three standard figures, in that case, so x coordinate is equal to a1 into x1 plus a2 into x2 plus a3 into x3 by a1 plus a2 plus a3, like that, and so on. And then now the y coordinate. So similar formula. So for the y coordinate also, the y coordinate can be found by algebraic sum of the areas multiplied by the y coordinate by algebraic sum of the areas. That is nothing but the y is equal to sigma ai yi by sigma ai. For example, if a figure having the given problem is having the three standard areas, then y is equal to a1 plus a1 into y1 plus a2 into y2 plus a3 into y3 by a1 plus a2 plus a3. So this is nothing but the location from the x-axis. So this is the x-axis. So this location is called as the y-coordinate. So always we should take the for the y-coordinate the location from the x-axis, and for the x-coordinate the location from the y-axis we should take. And here the centroid. The centroid can be defined as the x and y coordinate. That is nothing but the x is equal to sigma ai into xi by sigma ai, and y is equal to sigma ai into yi by sigma ai. Now, so here what is happening is whenever some complex figure is given, like the T section or L section or Z section, then the first step is we should divide that complex section into the number of simple sections or the number of standard areas. Here the L can be divided into two standard areas. So one is the vertical rectangle and the second is the horizontal rectangle. And the T can be divided into two rectangles. That is, one is the horizontal rectangle and the second is the vertical rectangle. And if you take Z section, it is nothing but a combination of the three rectangles. That is the two horizontal rectangles and the one vertical rectangle. So like this, we have divided the given figure into number of standard areas. Then we have to find out the centroid location for each standard area from the defined reference axis. Then we can find out the areas and the coordinates for the centroids. Then the x coordinate can be found by sigma ai into xi by sigma a. That is nothing but the a1 into x1 plus a2 into x2 plus a3 into x3 by a1 plus a2 plus a3. And similarly for the y coordinate, sigma ai into yi by sigma ai. So that is nothing but the a1 into y1 plus a2 into y2 plus a3 into y3 by a1 plus a2 plus a3. So like this, we have to find out the location of the centroid or the center of gravity. So here generally we are now considering only the plane areas or the laminas. So we have to call it as only the centroid, and here we will consider the area only. Now we will attempt to find out the centroid of the given figures. Now this is the problem on the T section. So this section is called as the T section. Here it is composed of the two rectangles. So one is the horizontal rectangle and the second is the vertical rectangle. Now this is a problem. Take down this problem. Locate the centroid for the following T section as shown in the figure. Now you can draw the given T section. You take down this T section. Here this T section having the two rectangles. So generally the rectangle will have the length and width. So the first horizontal rectangle having a length of 100 millimeters and width of 20 millimeters, and the vertical rectangle is having a length of 80 millimeters and width of 20 millimeters. So this is nothing but the 100 by 80 by 20 T section. So this T section also can be described as 100 by 80 by 20. 100 means the width and 80 means the height of the web and 20 means the thickness. Now this is the figure. Now coming to the solution. So here the following steps can be followed to find out the centroid of the given composite section. Because the given is a T section, it is composed of the two rectangles. So one rectangle and the other rectangle. So here, so the centroid of these composite sections can be found by using the three simple steps. The first step, we have to split the entire section. That is, we have to divide the given composite section into the simple figures. Because here what is happening is the given is a T section. It is having a T shape, but we divide it into the two rectangles. So that this section is composed is consisting of the two rectangles. So one is the horizontal rectangle having 100 mm by 20 mm, and second is the vertical rectangle having 80 by 20 millimeters. So like this. So first we have to split the given section into the standard areas as many. In the present case, it is two standard areas, that is two rectangles. Next one is we have to locate the integers and centroids. Here we have to name it as rectangle 1 and rectangle 2. So for the horizontal rectangle and for the vertical rectangle, we have to locate the individual centroids from the some reference axis. First we have to define the reference axis, and from that we have to find out the centroids of the two rectangles. So generally in selecting the reference axis, generally the bottommost edge will be taken as a reference point for the x-axis, and the leftmost edge will be taken as the y-axis. So from that we have to measure the distances. So the second step is locate the individual centroids. Now the third step is the calculate the areas. So the areas can be, so we know that the A1, A2 like that, we have to find out the areas. And then the fourth step is the finding out the centroids by using the formula. We know that x bar is equal to sigma ai into xi by sigma ai, and similarly the y bar is equal to sigma ai into yi by sigma ai. So like this we have to find out. So ultimately we can find out the x bar and y bar. So for this, so by following the given simple steps, we can find out the location of the centroid. Now the first step is divide the given composite figure into the known standard areas. Second thing is locate the individual centroids for that areas. Third is calculate the areas, and fourth is find out the centroids. Now for this generally we use this table. This table is very important, and by using this area, this table, we can find out the coordinates of the centroid, that is the x bar and y bar values in a very simple manner. So we should make a table having the 6 columns, and as one is rows depending on the number of standard areas. Here the first column is the serial number, and second column is the area, that is AI, and third column is the xi, that is the x coordinate distance, and fourth column is the term AI multiplied by the xi, and the fifth column is the y coordinate, that is yi from the reference axis, and sixth column is the AI multiplied with the yi, and here we can obtain the total area, that is sigma AI. If you figure having two standard areas, then A1 plus A2. If it is having a 3, then A1 plus A2 plus A3. In some cases, we have more than 3. In that case, A1 plus A2 plus A3 and so on like that. Similarly, the term sigma AI into Xi. And similarly, we can find out the term sigma AI into Yi. So like this, we have to find out. And after finding out this one, then we can find out the centroids by using the formula. So for this, now we'll go to the picture now. The solution part, the first step is we have to divide the given figure. So here the given figure is a T section. So this is nothing but it is comprising of the two standard rectangles, because we know the centroid of the rectangle. So therefore we have divided the given T section into the two rectangles. The top one is the rectangle 1, and the bottom one is that is horizontal rectangle is rectangle 1, and the vertical rectangle is the rectangle 2. The flange is the rectangle 1. The horizontal thickness, that is called flange. So the horizontal rectangle is also called as a flange, and the vertical rectangle is called a web. So the flange is taken as rectangle 1, and web is taken as a rectangle 2. Now for this, first of all we have to take the reference axis. So the bottommost edge, so that is the taken as x-axis, and the leftmost edge is taken as the y-axis 0. 0 for the x-axis and 0 for y-axis. Now we can locate the centroid for the rectangle 1 and rectangle 2. If we take the rectangle 1, the centroid is how much, because that rectangle is symmetrical about the y-axis. Okay, so symmetrical about the y-axis. So that is equal to, from that place, from that point, that is equal to the midpoint. So we have to, so that part we will take in the next step. Now coming to the step 2. So from the step 1 we have to move to step 2. Here the step 2, first one is the area 1, A1, that is for the rectangle 1. For the rectangle 1 we know that area is equal to how much? 100 into 20, that becomes 2000, and xi is equal to 0 because it is symmetrical about the given thing is symmetrical about the x-axis, symmetrical about the y-axis. So the t section can be here in the y-axis can divide the given t section into exactly 2 equal halves. So it is symmetrical about the y-axis, and therefore the x coordinate is 0 because it is symmetrical about the y-axis, and the x coordinate value is 0. So therefore we need to find only generally the y coordinate only, and anyhow for the table the x coordinate we are taking it into 0. Therefore the x coordinate value is 0 for both the cases, and y coming to the y coordinate. So this y coordinate for the rectangle 1. So we know what is the height. The height of the height is 80 from the bottom edge. Plus for the top flange, it is acting at a distance of 20 by 2 after 80. So 80 plus 20 by 2. So that is 80 plus 10. It is becoming 90. So y1 is equal to 90, and the a into y becomes 1,80,000. Now coming to the part 2, that is for the section 2 here. So what is this? The y2. Coming to the y2 here, this is the web. The starting point of the web is the x-axis is, and the y is equal to 80 by 2. So 80 by 2 is nothing but the 40. So y2 is equal to 40, and a2 into y2 becomes 69 into 40, it becomes 64,000. Now sigma a we got 2000 plus 1600 becomes 3600, and sigma ai into y, that is nothing but the a1 into y1 plus a2 into y2, that is becomes that is about that is coming to be 2,44,000. Now using the formula, the y bar is equal to sigma ai into yi by sigma a, that is nothing but the, so we got the value, direct value. So sigma a into y we got how much? 2,44,000 by sigma a is equal to 3,600. So 2,44,000 by 3,600, it becoming 67.18 millimeters. And for the x bar, because so it is symmetrical about x-axis, the x value is equal to 0. So because so at the midpoint is the x coordinate is acting at the midpoint. So x is equal to 0. So x bar are equal to 0. So now the centroid of the given point is defined as c is equal to x comma y, that is 0 comma 67.78 millimeters. So here the x is equal to 0 means actually the y-axis is from the midpoint. So the centroid is, because the given t section is symmetrical about the y-axis. So the centroid is lying on the y-axis. That is at the midpoint, and it is a distance of 67.78 millimeters from the bottom edge. So this is very important. The centroid is acting at a distance of 67.78 from this bottom. So from here to here it is acting at a distance of 67.78. And from here the value will be different. So this is the answer. X coordinate and y coordinate are the centroid. So in this way we have to find out the centroid of the given composite section. So this table is also, so here the thing is we have to follow these steps. First of all, we have to split the areas or divide the areas into the number of known standard figures. Then find out the individual centroids of the standard figures by formula. Then calculate the areas. Then we have to find out the centroids. So by using the table. So this table is very important. You have to remember this table and reproduce it whenever it is required. And with this table, we can able to find out the x bar is equal to sigma ai into xi by sigma ai, and y bar is equal to sigma ai into yi by sigma ai. So with this, we can able to find out the centroid of any composite section. So in the present case, so in this way we have found, and the value of the centroid is equal to, that is xy coordinate is equal to 0, 67.78. Actually at 0 means is the midpoint of the x-axis. So the centroid is also lying on the y-axis. When x is equal to 0, it is lying on the y-axis. So in this way we have to work out the formulas, and today we are stopping at this point, and we will take up some more examples in the next class. So thank you all.